If you're looking for a shooting guard build for Pro-Am or Rec, then check out this build. This build's going to be able to really do everything you need to do as a shooting guard within a team environment. I do think you could also take this build into solo Rec and play really well just with how it's built. So we're going to go shooting guard, 6'8". We're going to go 185 pounds. And then we're also going to go with a 6'8" wingspan. So as you can see, some of the attributes, some of the possible badges here. We'll get into detail about each of them. Here's the body types that you can get with this. But let's get into the attributes here. We can kind of talk about everything that this shooting guard can do that is really prominent in 5v5 scenes. So for your finishing, you're going to go 77 close shot. For your driving layup, we're going to go 71. Driving dunk, we're going to go 89. Standing dunk, we're going to go 49. And post control, we're going to go 51. So this is your finishing setup here. You're going to get silver posterizer. You're going to get the contact dunks at 6'8". It's really OP. You get your standing dunks. 45 is the threshold here. And then these are kind of just filled in based on the rest. But this build in general is going to be really good at finishing at the lane. Sometimes you will get layups, but you will have driving layup. We'll end up getting bronze physical finisher as well with some strength added in. But the driving dunk on 6'8 is crazy, whether it's in transition or actually getting those contacts. If you get downhill and you're against any kind of defender that's smaller, you're really going to finish every single time. But again, with those contacts at 6'8", it's just really difficult to guard. If you get sent on cuts, it has the alley-oops with it and everything like that. So in general, you have your Hoff aerial wizard. So if you're running like a 5-out offense, this build is also going to predominantly also be able to play like lock, and you'll see why here in a second, or at least like a defensive. But with finishing, we don't want to miss out, especially playing shooting guard. If you have to get to the lane, we want to definitely be able to get downhill and finish, especially with how the rest of this player is built out. So we'll go shooting here. We're going to go with a 92 mid-range. We're going to go with a 93 point. We're going to go with a 74 free throw. So this is where you could adjust the build a lot. I went 92 midi because you could do 4 if like cap breakers or anything. You could do 4 here to get your Hall of Fame shifty shooter. But this is where like you could badge or specialize your build here. And as you can see, all your shooting is badge tier 1. So you could look to keep it lower and then just max +2 if you ever work down that pathway. But in general, you're still going to get all the badges you need. This build does not get gold limitless. So again, that's where if you wanted to take this, you specialize it to be able to get the +2 or +1, whatever you end up getting. But in general, the build is fully built out to be a really effective shooting guard. You're not getting the Hoff here, but you could up this to those thresholds to get it because it does get a 97. But I wouldn't go to a 97 because it doesn't really do anything. So I kind of built this in mind. If you have your cap breakers, to use them here and specialize in shooting, but if not, also playmaking is a really good one to specialize in. So just ideas, but in general, you're still going to get everything you need with silver limitless, gold shifty shooter at 6'8". It's really hard to guard, shooting any type of fades. Gold set shot, gold dead eye. It's everything you need. 74 free throws a little low, but you'll make free throws if you actually time it and just take your time with your free throws. So with the 89 driving dunk, now mixed in with the shooting, it's kind of a two-way monster already on offense. And with that, we'll go to playmaking here. We're going to go 71 pass accuracy. We're going to go 85 ball handle. And we're going to go 80 speed with ball. So the reason why I went 80 speed with balls, there's some takeover thresholds that you hit whenever you do this. But in general, with the playmaking, this is where a build specialization could be really helpful. If you get your +1 or +2 here, you could really up your lightning launch and make a 6'8" half Hall of Fame lightning launcher, whichever aspect of this you want to get. In general, you're not going to be dribbling like insane, but with the 6'8s, there are some players out there that I've seen that have really good animations that they put on, or just really good dribblers. So it's not the fact that the build can't dribble. It's just not going to be moving as quickly as like the little guards, but you are 6'8". You're going to cover more ground. And just with how movements are in this game and with all the aspects of that, you're going to be just fine with this. But again, I can see where people think this is too low. And if it is, then you go 6'6", 6'7". But at 6'8", I'm telling you, at shooting guard, you're going to be able to move a lot faster than you think. Just take the build, go into the build tester. You'll see how quick it can move. But in general, being able to do everything else on defense, you're almost on lock. You're almost the size of the back ends in Pro-Am. So, and the 71 pass accuracy, people aren't going to love. 71 gets you that silver dimer. You have to kind of lower something. 71's actually not that bad with a lot of the builds that I've seen. But to be able to get contact dunk, play defense, be fast, shoot, some things have to kind of be lower, and that's just where pass accuracy comes in. But you'll still be able to throw good passes. You do get the bronze versatile visionary. You still get break starter, but it's not as good as what a guard or a point guard or a center is going to have. But in general, you're a shooting guard. Your main job is usually to play defense and score the ball, but you could adjust it here if you needed to. But 85 is also, there's some animations locked behind 85 that you probably want to get to. We can talk about those in another video, but 85 is a good threshold. Now this, you could drop to the 75 if you just want to hit the silver lightning launch, and then you don't really care for that. I've seen some people do that. I'm going to go ahead and just put it to 80 just to have it, and then any of those takeovers you get, some of them are speed with ball takeovers. That could add up to like 5 or 10 more, and so you could see where your speed with ball, and you can move a lot faster. So we're going to just have that just to be quicker with the ball, but some people think that the badge matters more than the attribute when it comes to the lightning launch. I'm not sure where I land on it, so I'm just going to max it out. Now for defense, I think people are going to really like this. You're going to go 92 perimeter, and you're going to go with a 73 steal. So we need to up our agility and things, but you're going to have all gold badges here. You're going to have gold challenger, you're going to have gold on-ball menace, gold pick dodger. You're going to have all of that stuff to be able to play elite defense, especially at 6'8". You're, like I said, you're almost another lock. You're going to actually have really good agility as well on this build, so you're going to be able to move around the court really quickly and rival your lockdown. So this is kind of a niche to that. The next threshold I would suggest, if you don't like that, to go down to an 85. That's going to give you all your silver. So if you think 92 is just overkill and you don't want to be that much, you want to put that in pass accuracy or whatever else, then that's a level I suggest. 73, I think, is the good mark right now, just because the steals, I heard there's a patch coming or seen that they talked about it, but in general, steals right now aren't that insane. I would say the lanes are better than like on ball. So like glove isn't anything that I would shoot for yet. Now a patch could easily change this, and that just nullifies everything I just said. But without the plucks the way that they are in previous games, I just think lanes are more important, or like being in position. Like a blitz steal is just more about you knowing where to be more than it is the glove. Now we'll see if glove really like makes those animations happen more, but in general, I think this is a really good setup, especially at 6'8", and what we can do with the speed. So we'll leave block at 47. And then for your rebounding, we're not going to touch it. We're actually just going to put offensive rebound to 41. This is just to finish the build out. And then we'll go to physicals here. Now physicals on a 6'8", this to me is actually like insane when you look at it. So I really like that this build can look like this. So we'll go speed with an 88. Agility is going to be an 85. Your strength is going to be a 60. And your vertical is going to be a 78. So speed, we get gold slippery off ball. That's what we wanted. So again, a threshold here. If you wanted to just hit the gold and that's it, because some players just want that gold slippery, then go to 85. Now you have more attribute points, but I wanted to be as fast as I can. It actually goes to 89, but we moved some attributes. Agility, 85. Again, this isn't any thresholds. I just wanted to be able to move quickly on defense. You could drop this, add it. So really with these two, you can kind of mess around and get more attribute points to add anywhere else. But as you can see, like I said, you're going to get that gold on-ball menace, the gold pick dodger, gold slippery off-ball. You're fast. You're 6'8". You're going to be moving. You're going to be zooming around the court, especially if you get any of those takeovers that also adjust your speed or agility. And then at strength, we went to with a 60, just to be able to give the bronze strong handle and bronze physical finisher in case we need it. Are these needed? No. In general, though, if you're going to be a lock, maybe if you're going to be a more defensive-minded, you could end up dropping these to the threshold. Like I said, the 80, maybe you do double 85. And you want to up this a little bit, you can get it to the silver strong handle, or if you wanted to do anything else here to kind of play the lockdown role just a little bit more when it comes to, bumps or like not being able to get blown by or anything or hold your own, the strong handle is pretty good. Also, the immovable enforcer is a good badge, but you're going to need a lot of strength to get there, and I don't know if you're going to be able to adjust the build enough. But in general, just getting those bronze is a nice threshold just to have those badges if needed. And then the 78 vert, it's going to give us that silver posterizer, gold pogo stick. You're going to get the contact dunk animations. That's what the 78 threshold is with the 89 driving dunk. So you have to hit this. So make sure you don't change this if you're going to go 89 drive dunk. But again, you're at 6'8". You're not going to be dominant in the paint, but again, you're going to be able to jump. Pogo stick's going to help with that stuff. And just in general, the animations we need. That's what's really tied to this. But I think that the physicals, the defense, the playmaking, it's really tied specifically to playing a shooting guard role. But I do see a case where you could take this build into solo rec or even park and play really well, maybe a few adjustments to the build, and you can actually like have a really dominant player that could play in all modes. So with that, we'll look at the name of the build here, and I'll show you the best jump shot for this build as well at the end here. That way you can kind of have everything to go into your first game or playing with your Pro-Am team or Rec team. So shades of Eddie Jones, Kobe Bryant, and Ray Allen. The archetype is a 2-way 3-level shot creator, which kind of makes sense. Now look over here for your go-to badges. All of those are really good. Top attributes. Now strengths, it's tough to get by on the perimeter. Sticks to middies with no hesitation. Hits deep shots defenders hate. Elevates effortlessly in paint. It has no weakness to report. So the game even says it has no weakness. And I think all around, if you build this 6'8", you're going to be tough to deal with, especially if you can work on, and just the movements in general, but a lot of off-ball movement, a lot of cuts, all of that stuff. Since you do get stand dunk, good driving dunk, you'll be able to be a menace pretty much anywhere else you go on the court if you don't master the dribbling. But again, you could adjust that as you go. And with that, we will look at the jump shot here. Go to custom tests. So the best jump shot that I have seen and found that has good height that you can kind of shoot over people because you're also 6'8". So we're going to go with Michael Porter base. We're going to go with your upper release one. We're going to go Sadiq Bey. For your upper release 2, we're going to go Charles. I don't know if it's Bassey or Bassey, but Charles Bassey. And then now for your release here, I've kind of liked in this game setting it to all the way to release. You could go 3/4 or max speed, and then we're just going to leave it 50-50 here with Sadiq Bey and Charles Bassey. But this is just preference on these ones. But the animation, I mean, you could adjust it here, as you can see, but you lose some height, and if you go too far right, you will lose the defensive. So we're going to keep it 50-50. And this jumper is really good. Yeah, it feels really smooth. It kind of reminds me of, it feels like Tracy McGrady a little bit, but of course that jumper's OP. So that's what it kind of reminds me of when you shoot around with it. But in general, this should be a good start for you to see the best jumper for this build. And that'll do it for this video. If you're a YouTube content creator and you don't like kind of creating your own titles, description, or tags, there's a tool I use in the description called Launch Lens. Pretty much you log in and analyze your video, and it's going to output all the best titles, description, and tags based on whatever video it is you did. Also, I'm recruiting for my Pro-Am team called Off Grid. If you're interested in playing Pro-Am or high-level rec, join the Discord in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.